All right, Mayor, so you're going to be just looking at me right here. First, say and spell your first last name, give us your title.
Jason Tabor, JSONTABOR, Mayor of Santa Fe, Texas.
Mayor, why don't you talk a little bit about, you had made a post this afternoon in response to some stuff you had made here recently online. Talk about what prompted you to basically make this public apology of what had happened.
I made a mistake, and I hate the fact that I did the mistake. It was an accident, and I offended some people because I kind of re-triggered some trauma. And so I decided to make a post today in response to that as well. I did personally apologize to a lot of people. Some are mad, some are supportive. It is what it is.
What did you post?
Pretty much I posted, it's been 3 years, and pretty much I'm mad the fact that I feel like we're never going to have a trial because they keep extending it, and I just feel like I want justice, and I just hate the fact that I feel like I carry that burden sometimes.
The timing of the post that came to, there's been a lot of behind the scenes that's been happening involved with the Santa Fe shooting case. When you made this post, because of some other situations that happened behind the scenes, a lot of people may not be aware of it, but a lot of the families were given access to the autopsy reports. Was that on your mind when this was going on? Were you familiar with that going on at the time?
Not fully familiar. I made a mistake. The information, I didn't word it properly. It wasn't about that. Like I said, I made a mistake. I owned it, and I took the post down.
In the post, you'd said, what you had said. It was about, it's been 3 years in there. But in your apology post today, you talked about you've been diagnosed with PTSD and also that alcohol was involved. Can you talk about that situation, what led to that?
So, the easiest way to deal with problems, I think, sometimes is people want to self-medicate. And so in 2018, around November, I drank pretty heavily, and I quit drinking. Whole year, 365 days, not a drop afterwards. And I was like, wow, I could do this. And then I thought, oh, I'm good. Then it snuck back up to me. Then we had 2019. Then I would drink on the weekends. Mostly it was after the anniversary, so more like June, July time. I would about every couple weekends, about one weekend a month, usually sometimes 2 weekends a month. I would just start partying Friday and party through Sunday. And it's, I don't drink every day. I know when I put on my post, I'm an alcoholic, but I come from a family of alcoholics, and so to me, sometimes if you can't handle one drink responsibly, and sometimes you want to drink a lot of drinks, and maybe alcohol is just not for me.
Yeah. You had pointed out you actually went to rehab at one point.
Yes.
In the last year or so. Can you talk about that experience?
It was more of a detox type rehab. It was very short. I was only there for a few days. I took myself. I had an issue. It was last September. I had quit drinking. It came around September, and I was having some issues. I just couldn't shake some things. My brain was just so much things that are in my head, and I just had some issues, and I thought I could solve it with alcohol. What I found is through that process and dealing with the issues I dealt with that night, and the next morning I took myself to rehab for a week, and I learned a lot about who I am. I learned a lot about I was diagnosed with PTSD, and then you're also able to get on proper medication. So I was able to get myself prescribed.
And the PTSD, is it associated with, because you became mayor, you actually weren't officially mayor yet, you'd won the election, but you became mayor shortly after the shooting at Santa Fe High School, the murders at Santa Fe High School.
Yes.
And you had friends who were involved in that on all different levels, people who lost loved ones and the like. Is that where the PTSD is coming from as well, or some other things in your life?
Well, there's a lot of my life already growing up. From my dad leaving when I was younger to drugs being involved, abuse, a lot of emotional abuse, a lot of physical abuse. Very stepdad used to like to slap us around a little bit. Watch my dad drink every day. When I did get to see my dad, see my grandparents drink, there's a lot of just drugs and alcohol, and just growing up, like I said, very, very poor, and which is no excuse. Because the fact that I identify it, then I have that part going, and then you start adding everything to it as well. My dad passed away suddenly when I was in my early 30s. He went to the hospital, had a stomach ache, and he was literally dead less than 24 hours, and it kind of traumatized me a little bit. It's a hard experience to have to pull the plug for somebody. And then a couple years after that, my business partner ended up passing away as well. He passed away right before I became mayor, so I dealt with that in 2017. And then our stepson had left. He was been gone for 3 years in the military. We haven't even seen him, but now we'll be seeing him soon because I'm gonna be a grandpa. So, and we reconnected with him. But so there's quite a bit of trauma in my life. There's a lot of levels of trauma, and then you add May 18th on top of that. I went to the scene. So when I got that phone call that morning, I went straight to the school that morning, and I kind of absorbed quite a bit. And I know everybody is traumatized from this. I know I'm not. There's nothing for pity. I've never asked for pity. I needed to tackle my own demons because I didn't realize what I did in getting there and what I was absorbing. I wasn't prepared for it, and so it really got to me.
You had said to me before we sat down for this interview that the way you handled these drinking episodes was you got away and you would kind of do it in private so you could feel that. Can you talk about that process? Because that's what this was too, right? You'd gone out of state, met up with a friend at a casino in Louisiana, and you felt you just kind of let loose.
It was fun though. There was nothing negative about it. I mean, of course it looks bad. I'm not proud of it. I had fun. I mean, like this 4th of July weekend, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, and the only problem is I didn't have my meds. My refill prescription was left here at the house, and I think the meds wore off really fast, and I wasn't able to take any more meds, and I think it brought my emotions out that I never usually have come out. So for almost a year now, I haven't really. I've been able to kind of ball those up and put them away in a file in my head, and I've been really good about that. And this had a little bit more of an issue because of it.
You felt this was kind of a build-up. You said, about this time of year now, ever since 2018, you've had this kind of, emotions just kind of boil to the surface that leads to this. Has that been kind of the case? That was what was happening here?
This wasn't the case this weekend for my post, but I still want to get a handle on it. I don't want to follow my dad's footsteps and drink myself to death. I don't want to be that person. I want to be a great husband. I want to be a great leader for my community. I want to be a great father. And I can't do that if I'm drinking. Regardless of how much control I think I have, it's time for me. I think I want to go ahead and just nip in the butt. I've watched a lot of my friends, a lot of people here in the community, and there's been a lot of drinking. There's been a lot of drugs, alcohol, all that stuff. And I feel for people because because they're not dealing with the actual trauma itself. And so I think me facing the trauma, which I've done. I go to counseling all the time. I have a counseling appointment tomorrow. I have a great counselor who's working with me, does a great job. The meds have really helped me out a lot. And like I said, and I'm just owning up to my responsibility. You
say that as well. One of the things, but you said you're going to go through a 12-step program.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes. Like I said, I never really grew up drinking because I watched my parents drink. So, and then, like I said, November 2018, I drank, had a really bad night, and I'm like, I'm done. And literally, I was done. And for an entire year, I didn't crave it, didn't touch it. No, I don't crave alcohol. I just do it as a way for escape. I can just, I guess I can always blame it on alcohol and just, party and have my friends over or not have anybody over. And it looks bad on me. And it's not healthy for me. It's not healthy at all, and it's not something that I would ever want to promote. And so I want to get a handle on it so people can see truly who I am.
And it's playing out when you talk about it. It looks bad on you. It looks bad on the city. Obviously, as the mayor, you're looked at as a whole lot as a higher standard. Here, it's played out publicly via social media. Here, obviously, there have been some folks, even on your own post today, have said, "Well, I think in the best interest, you should resign." What have you thought about that? You said you were going to talk to your wife. Are you planning on staying in office?
I think I got overwhelming support, and I'm going to stay in office if the people will have me. And I think, dealing with some stuff we dealt with. Yes, I publicly, told people, "Hey, look, guys, this is what I do." And some people assume that I would drink every day. Like, "Oh, you wake up in the morning, you drink." I go, "No, I don't. I wouldn't even. I might go 3 months without having a drink, and then on a good weekend, we're having a barbecue. I'm gonna have some fun." And that's what I meant by drinking. It wasn't like I'm sitting there at City Hall with a bottle of whiskey in my desk or something drinking. I've never ever drank at City Hall. Never drank. Going to a council meeting. I have perfect attendance on council meetings. I mean, I really, really, truly care. And like I said, I'm maybe my post. I think I mostly did that post to go public with it, is so I can hold myself accountable. And because, like I said, I was able to quit for a year, like it was no big deal. But a year's not long enough. And then, like I said, when I went to rehab and I understood the process, and because that's when I didn't understand what alcohol does to your body, and what it does to your brain, and also what it does when you have emotions combined. And like I said, that's when they were able to get me on medicine and help level me out, and it's done great. I'm done really good with it. My only problem is I want to go ahead and tackle this because I don't want to be that person.
And you said it's a binge drinking issue. You've never, again, just to make it clarify here, you've never shown up at a councilman with alcohol in your system?
Never, ever, ever. No, sir, never. Like I said, I'm a businessman. I'm still professional. I'm just maybe not professional in my personal life. And I think sometimes as a public figure, it's easy to make excuses, but I need to always be realizing that, it's hard to take your mayor hat off 7 days a week, even though it's not fair because, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day is a lot for anybody to be criticized or be looked at. But I'm taking the heat. I'm okay with it. I think owning up to it, I'm going to make sure I do better.
Let me ask you on the posts with that. Have you talked to your fellow council members about this? You say you apologize to some people personally. Have you talked to your city manager, fellow council members about this incident?
Yes, 3 of my council members reached out, or 2 of them reached out to me, plus my city manager, and I've been working with the mayor pro tem as well.
Okay. And just in general, what did you tell them about?
I explained to them what was going on. I said, I was just having fun on the weekend, but I said I need to. When I made that post regarding the shooting, I didn't mean to harm anybody when I did it. And when I did that, I knew then, I said, I got to get this under control. I got to really make sure that I don't take a chance of ever letting my guard down again.
And you've since deleted, but you at the time you felt you were echoing what a lot of folks have been saying about there's still no trial because the man charged with this is still not come to trial. He hasn't been deemed eligible to even stand trial at this point. You're probably expressing what a lot of folks already in town.
It hurts. It really, really, truly hurts. I love this community. You know that. You've known me a long time. And it hurts that we wait 3 years and you want something to be closure so you can have that next step. And, and some of the parents have moved on, some of them don't care, some have kind of, they're dealing with it in their own way. And then, I'm not meaning not care, but they truly care. It's like, come on, guys. And they're feeling heartbroken, they're feeling distraught, they're exhausted. And then it's like we can't get the information and we don't know when the trial is going to be. And it's like, unfortunately, it might be, 8 years, 10 years from now or longer before we even have a trial. And that's a long time to wait just to get to the next layer of closure, just so they can start healing.
This is going to be a difficult part to ask you about.
Okay.
But that post wasn't the only thing that you did that weekend.
Okay.
Were there some text messages and stuff too?
Yes. I won some money at the casino and I invited a bunch of people over. I was trying to be in party mode and I thought I was trying to impress people and I was going to invite a bunch of people over.
Yeah. And that's been kind of what's been out there as well too.
Yes.
Anything inappropriate in any of those text messages or anything like that?
And they can read them on social media. Am I happy? No. I mean, did I do wrong? Yes. I'm owning up to it and I will. I have a strong wife, and she's right there by my side.
I can tell. I mean, you do care about this. You and I have known each other for a while.
Yes.
And, and there's no perfect person anywhere. You had said to me though, you hope that by your example here of coming forward, that maybe it'll help others. Can you talk about that some?
So I've watched a lot of people suffer in our community. Some of them are first responders. Some of them are work with the school. I've seen a lot of teachers quit. A lot of changes have been made. If you look around the county, there's been a lot of changes, and they're dealing with their own problems in their own way. And so maybe this will encourage some others as well So to maybe seek some help.
Have you even thought about even just taking a step back temporarily or anything like that from office at this time?
I want to be there. Right now we're writing city work budgets, and I want to make sure we get a good budget for our city going forward. If the voters want to ask me to leave, if enough of them say they want me to leave, I'll leave. I mean, the good thing is we have amazing staff. We have a city manager run city. So it's not like as my position, I'm not operating 40 hours a week working for the city. More of I'm able to get around 15 to 20 hours. Even at 15 to 20 hours, that's quite a bit for what most mayors even do. Right. Because of being most people have full-time jobs as well, because mayors don't get paid, and so. But I think I work well with the staff, and we have a really, really good staff, and we have a really good city manager.
At this point, though, to those who would, you said you got a lot of support, but to those who are kind of, would say, hey, you need to step aside. What's your message to them, though, about whether it's forgiveness or give you a chance, or what do you want to say to them right now?
I want people to look back and say, okay, Jason, you've been here over 3.5 years. You've impressed us. You work your tail end off day in, day out, and truly care. You have one error judgment. Don't let one moment that I admit to, I didn't have to say it. I said, look, guys, I was having a good time partying. I mean, it's my weekend. It was a holiday weekend, and I'm the one who went clean with it. I'm the one who says that, and so I hope that they look at everything I've done and not just try to pick on one bad thing.
Gotcha. Anything else you want to say beyond that?
I mean, I love my family, love my friends. I had a lot of support, a lot of messages. A lot of mayors called me up, and a lot of county officials called me up and told me hang in there. And it is what it is. So but like I said, I publicly went. I could have easily not went public, and I thought it was the best thing to do. So that's why I want to own up to everything. I think that being honest and foregoing is a lot better than trying to hide it or lie.
Yeah, I forgot to ask you this earlier too. At any point when you were first being challenged about the post you made or anything like that, did you deny it?
Which part?
On any of this, when folks were kind of challenging on social media?
No. I owned it right up. I owned it.
So you never said, "Oh, I was hacked" or anything like that at first.
No, somebody thought I thought I explained on my phone was died. I had to recharge my phone.
Okay, so that was.
I think it was just some miscommunication. That's all.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And again, anything else you want to say?
No, sir.